controversial. Let's talk about why Americans are so poor.
You realize that every middle-class person in America is one crisis away from poverty.
Could you live on $994 a month?
You are not broke because you pay taxes. You are broke because billionaire business owners and your job do not pay you enough.
Why are we asking if people should be afforded a living wage?
It ends today. We need to make a change because the people want it. We all want it.
Comfortable is more dangerous than desperate.
You're one of two types of people. So you're either the one that
they have a job, work every single week, yet millions of Americans are falling into poverty every day. How working full-time not sustainable anymore in America? If you've been living below the poverty, drop a comment so people can support you maybe. And if you are new here, do me a favor, smash the button and hype me up, hype me up, hype me up. All right, let's check out this video.
Being born in poverty is much more than food insecurity, making sure a roof is over your head, and making sure you feel mentally safe and stable. It goes much deeper than that. Being poor permanently stunts your potential for self-actualization. It costs money to be yourself. It costs money to have style and to develop your style and to find what works and what doesn't work. When all of your time, energy, and effort is being invested into your survival, you don't have time to think about what you would like or what you prefer. It's about whatever you have in the moment, whatever people are willing to give you. Well, that's why it really frustrates me when women do things back. They will sit there and lay on their back and let a broke and or stingy man impregnate them, talking about, oh, we can figure it out. Men are willing to birth innocent children into this earthly realm just because they don't want to be seen as materialistic. The money is much more than the diapers and the formula that you're thinking about. All these short-term things. You are dooming your entire future bloodline to poverty because you don't want to be seen as materialistic. Your child's future dwindles the moment you decide that money is optional. It is an uphill battle to make it out of the curse that is poverty, and a lot of people don't make it.
For all of y'all in my comments saying poor people shouldn't have children, do you realize that every middle-class person in America is one crisis away from poverty? If you're upper middle class, you're two crises away from poverty. I get that most of you commenting are young adults who do not have kids. And we live in a society that is really antagonistic and hateful toward kids and also toward poor people. And we also live in a society where we are constantly chasing wealth. Yay, capitalism. But let me tell you, as a 45-year-old, all it takes is one big medical bill, getting laid off from your job, one serious illness, one car accident, and your family can get tipped into poverty. So stop thinking that y'all middle-class white kids can look down your noses at people in generational poverty and think that you have more of a right to have kids than they do. And the privilege you're leaning into is incredibly precarious.
The spirit of poverty doesn't always make you desperate. Sometimes it makes you comfortable. And comfortable is more dangerous than desperate. Because when you're desperate, you'll fight. But when you're comfortable, you'll drift. You're paying bills barely, you're making it work barely, and every month feels like the last month. Not crisis, just a cycle. And the spirit of poverty doesn't need you to be broke to be bound. It just needs you to stop reaching, stop believing, stop trusting in God. Comfort is how that cycle survives, but discomfort is how that cycle ends. The most dangerous place to be is just comfortable enough to stop fighting.
This is about to be controversial. Let's talk about why Americans are so poor. Number one, a lot of us live in really high cost of living areas where we're paying out 30 to 50 and beyond % of our income on rent, on our after-tax income. Two, a lot of us have shopping addictions, like online shopping addictions, where we just think of something, look it up, buy it, as well as $100 or more of other stuff we did not need because marketing was just too good. It got us. Number three is nobody knows how to use their credit cards. People will rack up debt on their credit cards in America and then not pay them off. So something that costs $50, people are paying over $100 for that same thing after they wait a couple months at 25% APR. Lastly, we're all undereducated on financial literacy. It's really difficult to grow your wealth if you don't even understand the basics of personal finance. So let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. And of course, follow for more personal finance hot takes.
It's absolutely crazy to me that we're having discourse about, like, should people who work at Waffle House make $25 an hour? When the real question is, like, why should we allow billionaires to exist and dictate what our life is like on a day-to-day basis? Why are we asking if people who work at a very high stress job should have a living wage and not whether or not one person who has a lot of money should be able to buy entire platforms where public discourse happens on a global scale? Why are we asking if people should be afforded a living wage and not whether or not it's ethical to allow people to buy entire islands? Why are we asking things like, should workers be able to afford groceries, and not asking why oil companies have reported billions of dollars, record profits over the past several years while the cost of gas has gone up in this country at an unprecedented rate? Fuck rich people and fuck people who send for them. You're not going to be rich ever.
You are not broke because you pay taxes. You are broke because billionaire business owners and your job do not pay you enough. Stop being mad at individual people and families just trying to survive and get by and eat under an inherently unequal system like capitalism, and direct your anger at the people causing the problems like billionaires. We as working class people all have more in common with each other every day than we will ever have with people like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. America does not have a welfare problem, it has a wealth redistribution problem. Put your anger where it needs to be, at the billionaires.
How are we ever going to break away from generational poverty in the Black community if nobody ever wants to talk about finances? If you can't even ask your mom how much they make a month or what's their credit score, how am I ever going to build the credit? How am I ever going to put myself in a position to be a first-time homeowner? If you're new here, my name is Camden. I'm 18 years old and I financially support myself off of being an influencer and a business owner. And so I'm creating a 30-day series where I'm going to talk to you about how I spend my money, how I balance my wants and my needs, my self-care financially. And I'm just going to show you some of my self-care as a young adult. Give me a follow if you want a friend to be financially responsible with while you're in college.
Could you live on $994 a month? Beginning next month, SSI recipients will receive a modest increase of 2.8% to their monthly SSI benefits. For those of you who don't know, SSI is provided to individuals that have disabilities that are unable to work. And I say unable in kind of quotes, to be honest. A lot of individuals who are receiving SSI benefits express a strong desire to be able to still work and contribute to our economy. Many of them do not enjoy living on just $994 a month and having to report each and every dollar that comes into their home to the Social Security Administration. I share this information to open up your mind and think about the employment opportunities that could potentially be out there, especially if you're an employer, to provide to individuals with disabilities, because we all contribute so much to the working world.
Here in America, in the United States, people are struggling more than ever. They're struggling to put food on their table. They're struggling to pay their rent because the rent's going up and up. And the thing is, America and big corporations can't get it through their head. People can't do it anymore. They can't keep working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet. They can't. Why are we still doing this? The American people are tired of having to work all day and only sleep for a couple hours and don't even get to enjoy their lives. We need something better that's not going to take value from people and their energy every single day just to give it to them. The ones in control, the powerful, the institutions. Even the government's not doing anything. But the people here, the thing is, they have been struggling more now than more than ever. And the thing is, we shouldn't be. This is a country that is supposedly rich. Rich in history, rich in rights. We've advanced in technology more than anyone in the whole world, except these last couple of years, because big corporations have been allowed to take advantage of us. And it ends today. We need to make a change because the people want it. We all want it.
I charge all my Section 8 tenants for what I like to call luxury amenities, like ceiling fans. They're not required by Section 8, so I charge $25 per ceiling fan per month. Food disposals, $40.
This is what many people mean when they say that it is expensive to be poor. To exist within such a capitalist society where people are constantly looking for ways to take from you, even when you are at your lowest. To charge Section 8 tenants for ceiling fans and garbage disposals. It's just evil. It's just diabolical and just so unnecessary, especially when you know they are literally relying on government subsidies to survive. And you are taking advantage of the fact that they really need a place to lay their head. You're not only further disenfranchising them, you potentially are crippling them and preventing their upward mobility from moving out of Section 8 by charging them unnecessarily for things that you already had installed in your house when you decided to rent to Section 8 tenants. This is why it's hard for people who are poor to move themselves out of poverty because of people like him.
People who grew up poor, and I mean unstable housing, basic necessities not being met, things like that, when they're an adult, they have an unhealthy relationship with money. You're one of two types of people. So you're either the one that spends extravagantly, so you're always going on vacations, eating out, wearing designer clothing, getting new clothes, shoes, all those designer items. And at the end of the month, you don't have money to pay for your bills, like electricity, or you're short on rent. The second type of people are those who are scared of spending money. So they would have clothes from high school still. They're still wearing the same shoes that definitely need to be replaced. But they have money in the bank, but they're just scared to spend it. And to be honest, as someone who did grow up poor, I always see one or the other and hardly anyone in the middle. So that really shows me that the effects of growing up poor is very long lasting.
Some people think poverty is dramatic, but most of the time it's just quiet. It's checking your bank account before opening a text. It's pretending you're not stressed so the people around you don't feel it too. It's calculating groceries like military logistics while people online scream about mindset. Not enough money for rent changes the temperature of your whole nervous system. You don't sleep the same. You don't think the same. Everything becomes urgent. And the worst part is you still have to act normal while your brain is trying to solve survival every second of the day. People say money doesn't buy happiness. Gee, maybe. But lack of money absolutely rents suffering.
Almost all the people who are stuck in the same place they were 6 years ago, it's because they're paying to be broke. A lot of people don't understand this about capitalism, but capitalism is time for money. And you can scale that little ratio right there. When you're living in a world that trades your time for money, you may think that you spent a couple $100 on a certain gaming console. Then you spent only $50 to $100 on the game in the console. So you may think, well, I spent a couple $100 about a year ago. I haven't spent money on this since. The fact that you're still spending time, hours a day, every week, every month, doing something that is not giving back to you, you are paying to be broke, even if you're not giving away your money anymore. So expand your perspective when you're thinking about lanes of income and then your expenses. It's not just the money, but what does that money represent? When people try to save money, like I just did when I painted my own house, I saved hundreds of dollars because I technically did the work for free because I'm doing it for myself. If it was a total stranger, I'd have to pay them hundreds of dollars for the time that they would be putting in to be here doing the work. Painting is something that I was capable of doing. I don't know how to do plumbing. If something happened with the pipes, I would have to pay hundreds of dollars or however much it would be for someone's time because that's out of my skill set. And it seems super simple when I say it like this, but so many people don't think of their finances like this, and I feel like so many people would benefit from thinking of their finances like this.
Despite the easing of inflation, new research shows more people in the U.S. are using credit or dipping into their savings to pay for groceries. NPR's Jennifer Ludden says food prices have jumped 30% over the last 5 years.
More than a quarter of working-age adults who used a credit card for food did not repay the full amount. That's according to new research by the Urban Institute think tank, which finds an uptick in such financial stress since 2023. Nearly 20% said they'd tapped long-term savings not meant for daily expenses to pay for groceries. A third who used buy now, pay later missed a payment in the last year. The survey was done in December before the Iran war sent gas prices up and further strained many people's budgets. Over the past year, expanded work requirements for federal food aid have also taken hold. Enrollment in that program has dropped by several million people. Jennifer Ludden, NPR News, Washington.
I'm Dave Mattingly, NPR News in Washington.
Why do poor people stay poor?
People think they save money with renting for some odd reason. People don't understand how important home ownership is. It's only when people are faced with the numbers, they see how much they paid rent and all this money is gone. And that's when they realize that homeownership would be better. Be open to the idea of becoming rich.
People don't understand that poverty and wealth have something in common.
They are both ecosystems, and you're looking at the poverty ecosystem. And if you want to escape it, you have to realize that it exists in the first place. This isn't just a matter of a person being lazy. It's about the circumstances around that person that influences their circumstances of poverty. When a person is born into poverty, they're probably born into a lower class neighborhood, so they don't have access to the greatest schools. That means that changes the way that they view the world, and they probably don't even know all the opportunities that are available to them. That's the lack of education right there. But again, just because a person is in poverty, that doesn't mean that they're lazy. And in fact, they're working very hard, just more than likely in an hourly job where those hours can be cut at a manager's discretion. That leads to a lack of income. That lack of income delays them from hitting other life milestones like buying a house, getting married, starting a family. And even if that person wants to do better, maybe they want to start their own business, well, because they have a lack of that income, they also have a lack of capital to start their own business. And remember, this person was probably born into a poor community, so they probably know people from that community that are also poor. That means that their network isn't able to help them find more opportunities. Therefore, you have a lack of opportunity. So that leaves us with the question of, how do you escape poverty?
And if you don't do anything in the new year to come, commit to getting out of the cycle. One thing I'm committed to for 2026, the cycle of this everyday clocking in for somebody else, and in exchange for my hard work, I get a check that then gets divided anyway to the bill collectors. And what do I get? The free opportunity to show back up to work to do it all again. The power in the cycle. Power can also be a bad thing. What has power over you keeps you stuck in the cycle.
Okay, so my topic for my research final is how poverty contributes to low literacy rates among children, right? And obviously, like, some of those things are really obvious, right? Like, location determines the quality of education you're gonna get, right? If you're poor, you're attending public schools, and usually they have less resources than like private or charter schools. Also things like just like lack of resources at home, right? If you're poor, you're not going to have as many books as home. Your parents are going to be working more, so they're not going to read to you as much. And all of these things kind of weren't a surprise to me. But something really shocking that I'm finding through my study is like the neuroscience of how poverty like affects a child's brain. Basically, children of lower socioeconomic status literally have less gray matter and like connectivity in the left hemisphere of their brain, which processes information and is responsible for like our language comprehension. And the reason that, or the theorized reason for why lower income children have less of this like structural integrity in the left hemisphere of their brain is literally like is also connected back to their socioeconomic status. Poor children are less likely to have like a like adequate nutrition, right? So that impacts brain development. They're also way more likely to be exposed to toxins, having lead in the home, being exposed to like unclean drinking water, and all of these things literally break down a child's brain and make it so they do not have the like physiological ability to comprehend and succeed in the way that middle income or higher income students can. And I just thought that was crazy, because I feel like I would assume it's purely environmental factors and not necessarily a lack of ability. And it's not always a lack of ability. Obviously, like you can teach a child to do a lot, right? But in many cases, it's like they're literally functioning at a different level than people of a better financial situation, because their brains didn't get the opportunity to develop in a healthy way. And I just think that is crazy how we are set up to be like kept in a cycle of poverty for like from birth for the rest of our lives. It's truly unescapable. It fucks up your brain to be a poor kid. I just thought that was crazy.
We are on my last shift. My last one.
And I was learning yesterday, breaking poverty mindset is just giving more to yourself. Because when you give more to yourself, self-care, take care of yourself, give yourself nice things, good set of scrubs, little aloe headband, some topical eye patches, you're telling the universe, God, source, Gus, that you deserve good shit. And you reap what you sow. You're putting out that vibration. Hey, I deserve good shit. I deserve to be taken care of. You put out that fucking vibration, and if you believe in science, you believe in vibrations, it's gonna come back to you tenfold. And whatever you speak will manifest into your life, because on the tongue is life and death. And you gotta learn how to wield your own power. You are a powerful fucking child of the universe. No matter what you believe in, you're a powerful child of it. So I want you to actually think of God like a super wizard, the big mega wizard, okay? And you're a child of the big mega wizard, all right? He can just grant you shit in your life, but you gotta put out that vibration that you deserve it, you're worthy of it, and that you can receive it. So, yeah, you deserve good shit.
People don't understand growing up in poverty how traumatic that shit is. Knowing that, bitch, basically, if y'all ain't got no food stamps, y'all basically ain't got no food. Knowing that the money, bitch, my mama had Section 8 and food stamps. And she still had a job. And we was still struggling. Bitch, it would get to the point, and my mama had 4 kids. 4 kids. Bitch, we didn't even make it through the month. Like, you know, when you get your food stamps, you stack up the refrigerator and everything like that. Yeah. You know, the first 2 weeks be good, and then boom, we right back down to no food. Now we over here stretching shit, waiting for the 19th when food stamps came. A lot of people was spoiled. A lot of people got parents that'll give you $20 that'll let you pick out, you could go and, you know, grab shit. Bitch, my mama will only give us $1. When we go to the grocery store, we knew that my mama was gonna give us $1. We had $1 to get us a snack or something. $1. And then we grew up with cousins and shit that got treated with favoritism. My auntie, and of course, you know, it's her grandbabies. No shade to my auntie and to my cousins. But this how the shit made us feel as kids. When it's Christmas and your auntie giving you a $20 gift card, but then turn around buying ice cream machines, iPads, this and that, and all this extra shit. We sitting here watching everybody, your grandkids, when meanwhile, they mama also got a good job too. So they already got good shit from their mama and TT. And then TT look at us and be like, here, nephew, giving you a $20 gift card. The same nephew that you was always calling on, depending on when you needed help, when you wanted me to do something for you, when you wanted me to build something, when you wanted me to clean up, when you wanted me to do this, when you wanted me to do that. You know? Bitch, we didn't have cable. We didn't have internet. Bitch, we had to go to TT house, granny house, just to get some internet, just to get some cable, just to watch TV and catch up on the shows. We didn't have that. We grew up with fucking VCR tapes. We was watching the same fucking movies on repeat. Bitch, we didn't have the option to go places and go to the movies and all this and that. Bitch, we had to literally go the fuck outside and play. When it was our birthdays, bitch, you know what we used to do? Go to the fucking movies, bitch. That was our birthday present. Going to the movies. When taxes came, you think we doing all this extravagant ass shit? No. My mama probably take us somewhere out to eat. We got some shoes. That's it. Meanwhile, them shoes for school. Having to grow up. On top of that, now I'm gay. And I done got pushed out my mama house at the age of 15. I done got bullied my whole life because of poverty, because I'm going to school, my shoes talking and shit. Bitch, I got a flat head. Bitches, like, it was so much that bitches was bullying me about, like, so much. So it get to a point where in life you eventually want to break those generational curses. And I want and feel like that I'm still young. But I want to be able to go to the motherfucking store and buy whatever the fuck I want. Bitch, I want to be able to fill my refrigerator up, get whatever the fuck I want without having to think twice about the price. I want to be able to pay my motherfucking rent and not have to worry about paying my motherfucking rent. I want to be able to pay my internet. I want to be able to see a game on my PlayStation and buy that shit because I can. That's the shit that I want to motherfucking do. But I was just coming on here letting y'all know that a lot of people don't understand how traumatic that shit is growing up in poverty. The shit that we have to go through and experience. And then also when you see your cousin down the street, they living a luxury life, and you over here watching VCR tapes. A lot of people don't understand how that shit feel. So on this social media shit, this shit is triggering for a lot of people, especially people that grew up in poverty. Because when you see people just sitting here living these lives and people fucking making money off of all this shit, off of no shade, dumbass shit. Cause I mean, look, no shade. Because I don't know. I still don't really know how to feel about certain things that I be seeing. But it's just like, it's hard for you not to get triggered when you see, and then it be like, bitch, I'm talking about bitches going viral, making millions of dollars off of being a messy ass, stupid ass bitch. And you over here really in the mud getting your motherfucking money, and bitches over here making 6 figures off of being a messy ass, delusional ass, stupid ass bitch. So it's hard because you over here having to get it out the motherfucking mud, bitch. So for my people that's still living in poverty, bitch, keep going. Because know that your motherfucking day is gonna come where, bitch, you get to go up in a grocery store and get whatever the fuck you want and not have to worry about no motherfucking price. But also, too, it's just like, that's why I don't like all that flashy shit when bitches just be flexing. Bitches just flash for nothing. They don't just... When it's people out here still living in poverty, having to get it out the motherfucking mud, bitch. So just know, when I get rich, bitch, I'm helping all my bitches.
Unfortunately, people do not really realize the price of poverty. Being poor is actually extremely expensive, okay? For one, food. A lot of times, people who are impoverished end up living in food deserts where they only have access to very few and very limited supermarkets, and then you have to kind of just get what is there or at your local convenience store, making eating healthy very, very difficult. And then on top of that, the fresh produce and fruit and stuff is sometimes more expensive than processed things. And then on top of that, goes bad faster. So now you have to replace those items more frequently. If you're on a budget for the month for food, it is not that easy to continuously replace fresh produce. Okay. Now let's think about the other side of this. How do they get to the store? Owning a car is extremely expensive. If you don't have someone who maybe could hand you down a car or something like that, then you might get stuck with a car payment, and then you're definitely stuck with insurance. And then on top of that, gas, maintenance. It is expensive to have a car. But then what's the other side of that? Then you have to either pay people to drive you around, or you have to pay taxis, which we know a lot of times can price gouge, or you're paying for ride share, which is not always inexpensive. Then how do you get to work in the same capacity? Taxis, asking people for rides to get there. And again, you're not using all your money for the things that you might need to use in your household because you have to pay to get around, because a lot of times also public transit isn't accessible, which, story for another day, really absolutely ridiculous. We should have an exquisite public transit site all over this freaking country. Anyway, laundry. A lot of people don't have in-house laundry, so now what do? You have to go pay at the laundromat. But then you also have to pay to get to the laundromat. You have to make sure you have enough quarters and stuff to actually get your laundry done. So then, kids go to school and sometimes feel sad and ashamed because they might not have the cleanest of clothes, but it is a task just to get to the laundromat. And now you might have only $20 until you get paid in a week or two, but you have to get groceries because you might have kids who have to eat. Now you have to overdraft your account, and now they're charging you $35 because you didn't have enough money to do what you needed to do. Now you're in debt to the bank, and you're in the negative, and it's going to keep you there for a little while because you have to build that back up. So now you're continuously getting overdraft fees, which are continuously putting you further in debt. It is a vicious cycle. Poverty is a very vicious cycle. It is hard to get out of. It is hard to live in. So when people are like, oh, they could just work harder, they could just do this, they could just do that. It's not as easy as just saying, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? Like it's not the reality. To be able to get out of poverty, you need a lot of other resources and you need a lot of other things in place to even be able to save $1. It is an atrocity when we live in a country that has the capabilities to help people. So when you're judging people who are impoverished, when you're telling people, oh, well, you need to get off welfare and da-da-da-da, remember the privilege that you are speaking from.
You know what's really sad is that Americans can literally stop going out to eat. They can budget right. They could not overspend. They could do all these things to be able to pay their bills and still won't be able to pay their bills. It's like, what are they not getting about the fact that things cost more and we're not getting paid enough? The math is not mathing. You could literally be budgeting, not eating out, not buying extra stuff, not traveling, not doing the most, and you're still not gonna, you're still gonna be barely surviving because, I mean, it's obvious. Like, if the cost of living went up and you're still getting paid nothing, if you're getting paid, you know how hard it is for most Americans to find a job now? If you got a job, do not quit. You will not find another one anytime soon. There are like thousands of listings. People are like applying for multiple jobs and not getting any because those jobs that the listings are there for, they're not even available. They're not there to give. It's so sad. But yeah, like I was just thinking, like, I feel so bad that some people are doing their best and they're like really out here not going out as much, not eating out as much, budgeting, doing everything they could, and still not being able to survive simply because, and it's not their fault, they're doing everything they should be doing, but they can't do it because they're not making enough. They're simply not making enough. The math is not mathing. It's so unfair. I feel so bad for so many people, including myself. Like, buy one of these. Support a girl out.
If you want to get out of poverty, you have to exit the poverty ecosystem. I'm the first person in my family to break the cycle of poverty, and I still have family that's in it, and it's because they're stuck inside the poverty ecosystem. So what is it? It's an understanding that poverty isn't just about not having a lot of money. It's about all the other factors that are sometimes out of our control that are constantly feeding into one another and can keep a person stuck in poverty. It's the biological and physiological changes that we go through because of the stress and anxiety that poverty brings. It's the environment we live in, the housing, the neighborhoods, the schools, which shape our understanding of the world and what we think is possible for ourselves. It's the social systems, the people that you're constantly talking to on a regular basis and forming relationships with, and the institutions and resources that are available to you. All of those things are interconnected and feed into one another to keep a person stuck in their current situation. So how do you get out of it? First and foremost is awareness. Be aware that the poverty ecosystem exists and how it's impacting your daily decisions. The second thing is the most important. It's education. It doesn't have to be a formal degree, although that's going to give you the best return. It could be trade school, a technical program. Is your job offering any classes? Is there a free class at the library that you can take? Is there a book on a skill that you can read and implement and practice so that you can have better opportunities? Anything that's going to increase your knowledge and skill set to give you better employment and income streams. The third thing is especially important for young people or parents to young people, and that's temporary exits from the ecosystem. Putting young people into sports, clubs, after school activities, summer programs, mentorship. This is going to change their mindset and change their understanding of what's possible to them. It's going to give them more opportunities. It's going to give them more resources that they otherwise would not have had.
You know, as a person who makes $300 a month, and who is also a person who is uniquely qualified to suffer through something like that because of being a lifelong sort of Pollyanna. I don't know if I get that from my mother or what my mother was that way. Just finding the joy in every tiny little thing. Finding the reasons to be grateful. Finding meaning in things that like meaningfulness and things that I don't know, maybe other people perhaps might miss or just wouldn't bother to. I think that for me, most of the time, I am able to sort of carry the 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 constant poverty of only making $300 a month and SNAP being my only money for food, and being constantly food insecure, I'm able to carry it pretty well, I think. I don't often fall into real despair over it. I recognize that it's unjust. I recognize that it's wrong to put anyone through this, that it's very it's inhumane to make someone so kind of like powerless to live any kind of even moderately normal life, or to even really own possessions, or be able to procure anything, to create anything, only to work with what I had before all of this, which is what you see. My art is all from things that I had before. I am overall very depressed. I don't have motivation to move, or the ability to really do much. And I am also weighed down by chronic pain. But somehow, generally, I'm usually able to carry myself with a degree of fairly consistent hope and steadiness and balance. But then eventually the weight causes me to crumble at some point, and it all sort of comes crashing down. And the 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 blunt force of the constant, I mean, just the constants of never having anything to do anything, to be able to seek joy, really, or even having the motivation to try to find ways to seek joy. Because sure, if one day I wanted to, I could drive my van to a park and me and Tybalt could go to a park, but I would have to put gas in my car. And even $10 of gas is too expensive to put in my car for me to spare. So I have to settle for buying things like some incense cones, or just be really relieved if I can pay all my bills, or it really, it drives you very deep into the recognition that there are limits around you always, barriers constantly to what other people get to experience, the lives that other people get to lead. And I see it all the time because I watch this app, right? I can see on this app that people can see their families or travel or not have food sensitivities or afford subscriptions to watch shows that aren't on free services, buy themselves clothes, or usually around the first of the month is when I'm feeling it the hardest, because it's then I have to think the most about how am I even gonna do this. The rest of the month, it's just okay. So I have nothing. So why even worry about it? You know, why even worry about it? Because I can't do anything anyway. So I'm just not gonna stress about it. I'm just gonna let it go, because I can't even stress about it. I just have to accept that I'm living a life of walls. And I love to see people enjoying things, because it's like I can enjoy it a little through them. Inside me, there's joy seeing other people enjoy things, because then I know that there's still joy out there. And maybe someday I'll get to feel that again. Maybe again I'll get to feel what it's like to walk farther than the back lot of my park complex, or leave the house for more than doctor's appointments in a medical transport. Maybe at some point I'll get to buy things I want to buy, or live someplace that has a bedroom, or live out in the country again where I can go out and sit on a porch, or have more than one window, have a real bathtub, or all that. I know that everybody thinks this is the only thing I deserve, because I'm useless to society. But I know how wrong and unjust it is. I just can't feel it all the time. But around the first of the month is when I feel it the most, that I just wish so much that it wasn't so constant, that I just wasn't in such poverty so constantly. But I'm so grateful for every single little thing that I have. And I'm so grateful that I didn't end up homeless and I got this place, and I'm very grateful for everything I have. I just wish it wasn't this way.